U.S. President Donald Trump delivering an address to the joint session of Congress in Washington, D.C. This was his maiden speech after being inaugurated on January 20th. President Trump began the address to the joint session of Congress with a three-word message that said, "America is back." He said that this will be the dawn of golden age of America, and we have accomplished more than 43 days. What we have accomplished in 43 days is more than what has been accomplished in the last 4 or 8 years. He also said that the American dream is unstoppable. He talked of freeze on foreign aid, terminations, federal funding, doing away with Biden restrictions, bringing back free speech in the U.S., allowing only 2 genders in the U.S. now. He mentioned the bold decisions he has taken to unshackle the U.S. economy. He also referred to the decisions he made to make America affordable again. He talked of the fight against inflation, focus on energy and avoiding the wastage of taxpayers' money. He brought in his new ministry, Doordarshan, and he mentioned the termination of numerous initiatives taken by the Biden administration, which, according to him, were futile. He came down heavily on Biden administration for wasteful expenditure of public money in the name of social security. Open border policy of Biden administration was also criticized by Trump. No tax on debts, no tax on social security benefits was announced by Trump. Trump also mentioned about the tariffs by many countries, both friends and foes, and how U.S. now shall not allow beyond April 2nd those tariffs. He also said that U.S. will tax other countries with the same tariff that these countries, friends or foes, have been taxing U.S. with. He also mentioned the resolve to push out the illegal immigrants, detention of lawbreakers out of the U.S. He called it great liberation of America. He also had tough words against Mexico and Canada to stop fentanyl smuggling. Bringing back law and order to the U.S. was also mentioned. Strengthening the judicial system is now a priority for Trump administration. So these were some of the important highlights of the address given by President Trump. Let's bring in our correspondent Anil Thomas, who is there with us to get us more. Anil, it was a very stern Donald Trump talking to the Congress, to the joint session of Congress, and also at the same time informing the world about the resolve to make America great again. For the benefit of our viewers, get us the important highlights, the crucial points which Trump mentioned, which Trump reiterated, that would bring America back on track, make it great again. All right, I will be joined in by Anil Thomas in a short while from now. Meanwhile, these are the visuals we're getting for you from the joint session of Congress, where U.S. President Donald Trump, after delivering his address, is meeting the members there. And our correspondent Anil is there with us. Anil, I just gave some of the highlights to our viewers, wherein it showed Donald Trump, the U.S. president, to put forth a stern message, a very stern and a resolved Donald Trump there talking to the joint session of Congress. At the same time, he also had a very stern message for the world. Let us know more from you. How do you evaluate the joint address of Trump to the Congress, wherein he reiterated his intention of making America great again?
Well, good morning, Preeti. Well, it's one of the longest speech ever that's been addressed to the joint sitting of the Congress there, and one that lasted over 100 minutes, 6 weeks of power that Trump 2.0 has enjoyed, and all the achievements, the perceived achievements that Trump has made was, being spoken about in patches across that 100 minutes that he spoke. But all in all, if you see, he spoke about not only making America again from a perspective that where he spoke about cleaning the house within, but also taking charge of the situation across the world, especially when it comes to the 2 conflicts.
Yes.
And also speaking about how he's cut off aid to all the countries in the world, especially, the long bills that US was drawing. And we've seen glimpses of that. And I think this particular counterproductive tariffs that have been announced on Mexico and Canada, you're seeing knee-jerk reactions coming from world over. There is a likelihood that Justin Trudeau would be holding talks with Trump tomorrow. And Volodymyr Zelensky has already indicated that he's ready for talks with Trump once again. So clearly, the message that Trump was trying to, or the messaging that Trump was trying to do through this address to the joint session has clearly been positive for Trump. And I think the 100 minutes of, one of the longest that we've seen, the longest before was 105 minutes by Bill Clinton way back in 1993. But this is one of the longest, but one that's driven on many points, especially when it comes to the opposition, the Democrats, who decided to walk out halfway through because they claimed that they were bored with all the achievements that were time and again being spoken about, which had no substance, but which was more good music to the ear. And I think it all started on the wrong note. Al Green standing up and Texas Representative Al Green standing up and trying to disrupt the message by Donald Trump and being thrown out of the house or being asked to leave the house clearly didn't set the ball rolling. But all in all, if one takes a look at the 100-minute speech that he's made, he's driven on the points that he had come prepared. And this particular speech has also been kept the social media trends that exist, and he's taken point by point all the points that he needed to highlight and give it to the people of America and to the world.
Yes, Anil, he did come prepared. This is what his report card showed. But then when we talk of his address, his address had that resolve, his address had that intention, some kind of humor also. At the same time, his address also gave those moments of glory to the Americans, who represented the decisions which he took in office all this while. Having said that, you as a journalist, how would you evaluate how these decisions or how this sentiment and resolve of Trump will go a long way for America in the near future? Because he ended his speech, he ended his address on making America the greatest civilization ever on earth. I would want you to compare his stint previously as the president and now Donald Trump 2.0. How have the circumstances changed? How has he as the president changed?
Well, that's a tough nut to crack, especially when it comes to comparing Trump 1.0 with Trump 2.0. These are early days. That's why this is not a State of the Union address. A State of the Union address is when a government has had 1 year of run, and that's why this is a address to the joint house of the Congress that Trump has made. One of the longest speeches, yes, for sure, but then one that had substance where it mattered the most, but one that was also bereft of facts on many of fronts. There are many instances, especially when it comes to the role of Dodge that is placed, the role of no longer people who are going to be unelected coming and running America, running the show for America, all that being out that he's promised about. He's also spoken about all world aid being cancelled, but let's also understand that there is aid that's been pumped to the tune of 11 billion to Israel. So it's, there were many instances where they were devoid of facts, devoid of substance. But overall, one takes a look at this particular speech. This particular speech has been kept, first of all, keeping the Republican vote bank in mind. And he's driven home points that mattered the most. But I think Democrats have also used this opportunity in a great way. They came up with placards of false and also, of Musk, because they know the role that Elon Musk has to play in this administration. And they have targeted Trump at important junctures during the address that he's made, especially during his address today. And I think all in all, if one takes a look at Trump 1.0 and 2.0, it's too early days. I just said 6 weeks into the administrations. To be precise, 43 days of administrative work that he's done. But one that's where the pen is done all the talking. It's just not mere talk that Trump has done. He's also put pen to paper when it comes to signing important legislatures. And I think somewhere deep down his ratings, matter to Trump. And Trump's ratings have taken a beating. But we'll have to wait and watch post this particular, address that he said, how his ratings are moving. But this is one speech that America is going to remember for long, for the longevity of it. Because, this particular speech, after a point of time, I felt that half the people sitting in the Congress were finding it difficult to concentrate. But he's harped on every issue that America needs address, America needs attention, right from inflation to job cuts to even genders and also world issues that many have spoken about, the perceived achievements that he claims, like the Gulf of Panama, Greenland, all the topics that he's touched on. I think it leaves a lasting impression on a leader that means business, a country that is looking to drive the world order, a country that's a superpower, and a country that is ready once again to flex its arms. It could ruffle a few weathers, maybe continents like Europe, but then it's ready to bite the bullet when it matters the most. And I think that's what Trump manages to drive home. And that's a big, big messaging that he does from the Capitol Hill to the world and to America.
And yes, he did convey that to the world and to America in spite of the lack of concentration there. Thank you so much, Anil, for joining in with those insights. Thank you for that understanding and that analysis. All right, so that was our correspondent, Anil Thomas, and he talked of the Trump address to the joint session of Congress today.